Hello there. Before we begin, I want you to feel the coldness of a single breath. Imagine the air is crisp, pure, and untouched. Let your body become as still as a frozen mountain lake. Tonight, we are going to leave the fast-burning world of heat and noise. We are going to enter the realm of the great ice. Welcome back to the Dreemo channel. Tonight, our journey takes us to the furthest reaches of our planet, to the poles and the highest mountain peaks. We are here to explore the story of glaciers and the ancient permafrost. These are not just blocks of ice, they are living, moving archives of time. They are the frozen breath of the earth, captured thousands of years ago and held in a crystalline embrace. We will explore how a single snowflake can become a massive wall of blue ice, how glaciers reshape continents in total silence, and what secrets lie buried in the permafrost since the last ice age. The scale of the ice, from the microscopic lattice of a frost crystal to the million-square-mile expanse of the Antarctic ice sheet, offers a profound reflection on patience and preservation. Let the pure white silence of the frozen world bring a cooling stability to your mind. If you find deep rest in these quiet explorations, please remember to gently press the like button and calmly click subscribe. Your support keeps our lantern burning in the frozen wilderness. Now, let us step onto the white, unmoving surface of the eternal ice. Chapter 1: The Birth of a Giant. Formation. Fact 1. The weight of a million snowflakes. A glacier does not begin as ice, it begins as a soft, silent fall of snow. In places where the summer heat is never strong enough to melt the winter's gift, the snow begins to accumulate, layer upon layer, year upon century. As the weight of the new snow increases, it begins to crush the layers beneath it. The delicate six-sided stars of the snowflakes are pressed together, forcing out the air between them. Slowly, the white snow transforms into a dense, grainy substance called fern. And then, over decades, the fern is crushed further into solid, blue glacial ice. It is the transformation of the lightest thing on Earth, a snowflake, into the heaviest. This is the ultimate lesson in the power of accumulation, a million moments of silence becoming a mountain of strength. Fact 2. The blue light of purity. Have you ever wondered why deep glacial ice looks so vibrantly blue? It is because the ice is so dense that it has no air bubbles left to scatter light. When sunlight enters this ancient ice, the ice absorbs the red and yellow wavelengths of the spectrum, allowing only the deep, cold blue light to pass through and reflect back to our eyes. This blue is the color of purity and age. It is the color of water that has been compressed by the weight of centuries. When you look into a glacial crevasse, you are looking at light that has been filtered by 1,000 years of history. It is a silent, visual symphony of the cold, a hue that exists nowhere else in nature with such intensity. Fact 3. The slowest river on Earth. A glacier is not a static object, it is a river of ice. Because of its immense weight, ice begins to act like a very thick, viscous fluid. Gravity pulls the glacier downhill, but it moves with a patience that humans can barely perceive. A typical glacier might move only a few centimeters or a few meters in an entire day. It is a movement so slow that it feels like stillness. It is a relentless, unhurried flow that ignores the ticking of seconds and minutes, measuring its progress in seasons and centuries. To watch a glacier move is to watch the Earth itself in a state of deep, unmoving meditation. Fact 4. The internal plastic flow. Deep within a glacier, the pressure is so great that the ice becomes plastic. This means it can bend and deform without breaking. While the surface of the glacier is brittle and cracks into deep crevasses, the belly of the glacier flows like slow-moving glass. This internal flow allows the glacier to navigate around mountains and through valleys. It is a silent, internal adjustment, a hidden flexibility that allows the giant to endure. Fact 5. The basal sliding. Sometimes, a glacier moves not just internally, but by sliding on its base. A thin layer of meltwater, often created by the immense pressure or geothermal heat from the Earth, acts as a lubricant. The entire mountain of ice, weighing billions of tons, slides silently over the bedrock on a microscopic film of water. This is the Earth's most powerful sliding force, a frictionless movement of a giant. It is a quiet, hidden mechanism that allows the ice to reshape the face of the planet, grinding mountains into dust while moving as smoothly as a dream. Chapter 2. The Voices of the Past. Scientific Secrets. Fact 6. The ancient atmosphere in a bubble. When a glacier forms, it traps tiny bubbles of air from the atmosphere. These bubbles are perfect, pressurized time capsules. By drilling deep into the ice, sometimes 2 miles down, scientists can extract these bubbles and breathe the air of the Earth from 100,000 years ago. These bubbles contain the chemical signature of the past. They tell us about the ancient winds, the volcanic eruptions of the Pliocene, and the levels of carbon dioxide long before the first factory was built. The glacier is a silent library of the Earth's breath, holding the atmosphere of the past in a frozen, crystalline grip. Fact 7. The Cryoconite holes. On the surface of the ice, tiny specks of dark dust, soot, and minerals collect. Because they're dark, they absorb the sun's heat and melt deep, vertical holes into the ice called cryoconite holes. At the bottom of these tiny frozen wells, specialized bacteria and microscopic life forms thrive. These are miniature ecosystems, hidden worlds of life living in the middle of a frozen desert. They are a reminder that even in the most inhospitable silence, life finds a way to create a home. They are the dark stars on a white sea, a silent testament to the complexity of the Earth's biological web. Fact 8. The rhythms of the ice ages. Glaciers are the heartbeat of the Earth's climate. They grow and retreat in long, rhythmic cycles known as Milankovitch cycles, driven by the tilt and orbit of our planet. When the ice grows, it locks away so much water that the sea levels across the globe drop by hundreds of feet. The continents expand and the world becomes a bridge of ice. This is the Earth's great inhale. When the ice melts, the oceans rise and the Earth exhales. We are currently living in a brief, warm pause in a story that is dominated by the cold. The glaciers are the silent guardians of this rhythm, waiting for the next turn of the celestial clock. Fact 9. The glacial flour. As a glacier moves, it grinds the rock beneath it into a fine, silk-like powder called glacial flour. This dust is so fine that when it reaches mountain lakes through meltwater, it stays suspended, turning the water a brilliant, surreal turquoise or emerald green. This color is the physical evidence of the glacier's silent labor. The grinding of mountains into flour is a process that takes thousands of years, a slow and patient erosion that creates some of the most beautiful landscapes on our planet. It is the dust of the Earth, polished by the ice. Fact 10. The sleeping giants of permafrost. Beyond the glaciers lies the permafrost, ground that has been frozen for at least 2 consecutive years, but often for tens of thousands. In the Siberian and Arctic tundra, the permafrost reaches depths of over a mile. This is the Earth's deep freezer. Inside this frozen soil, the remains of woolly mammoths, ancient lions, and prehistoric plants are preserved so perfectly that their fur and skin are still intact. The permafrost is a silent gallery of the lost world, holding the bodies of ancient giants in a state of permanent icy stillness, waiting for a thaw that may never come. Chapter 3: The Hidden Cathedrals. Fact 11. The secret lakes beneath the ice. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice sheet, miles below the surface, where no sunlight has ever reached, there are massive liquid lakes. The most famous is Lake Vostok. Despite the freezing temperatures above, the immense pressure of the ice and the Earth's internal heat keep this water liquid. This is a world that has been sealed off from the rest of the planet for over 15 million years. It is a silent, dark ocean, untouched by the evolution of man or the changing of the winds. If life exists there, it is unlike anything we know. It is a reminder that even under the heaviest weight and the most extreme cold, the Earth can hold on to a secret, liquid heart. It is the ultimate sanctuary of silence. Fact 12. The isostatic rebound. The Earth's slow breath. The weight of a glacier is so immense that it actually pushes the Earth's crust down into the mantle. When a glacier melts, the land beneath it begins to slowly rise back up, a process called isostatic rebound. Parts of Scandinavia and Canada are still rising today from the weight of the ice that melted 10,000 years ago. It is a movement that happens at the speed of a growing fingernail. The Earth is still remembering the ice. It is still exhaling the pressure of the last ice age. It is a geological ghost, a silent evidence of how the heavy ice once dominated the very skin of our planet. Fact 13. The glacial calving, the sound of ice. When a glacier reaches the sea, the ends break off into massive icebergs in a process called calving. This is one of the few times the silent world of ice makes a sound. A single block of ice, the size of a skyscraper, falling into the ocean, creates a boom like 1,000 cannons. But once it falls, the silence returns. The iceberg begins its own lonely journey, drifting with the currents, a floating fortress of frozen history. 90% of its mass is hidden beneath the dark water, moving with a silent, heavy grace until it eventually returns to the sea. It is a rhythmic ending to a journey that began as a single snowflake on a mountaintop. Fact 14. The erratic boulders, the travelers of ice. Across the fields of Europe and America, you can find massive boulders sitting in the middle of flat plains, thousands of miles from the mountains they belong to. These are called glacial erratics. Thousands of years ago, they were picked up by the ice and carried across continents. When the ice melted, it left them behind like forgotten luggage from a giant. They sit in total stillness, silent witnesses to the power of the ice that moved them. They are the monuments of the glacier's strength, proof that even the hardest granite is no match for the patient, relentless flow of the frozen river. Fact 15. The ancient viruses of the permafrost. Deep within the permafrost, scientists have discovered viruses and bacteria that have been dormant for over 30,000 years. When the ice melts, these ancient life forms wake up. They are biological fossils preserved in a state of perfect frozen stillness since the time of the Neanderthals. This is a silent, microscopic time travel. It reminds us that the ice is not just a barrier, it is a preserver of life's most basic blueprints. The permafrost holds the biological memory of the planet, waiting in the dark for a moment to breathe again. It is a quiet, frozen library of life's endurance. Chapter 4. The Guardians of Time, Legacy and Future. Fact 16. The crystalline geometry of fern. Between the fresh snow and the solid ice, there is a stage called fern. This is snow that has survived a full year of melting. Under a microscope, fern looks like a delicate lattice of connecting crystals. As the years pass, these crystals grow larger and lock together, forming a solid wall. It is a silent, mathematical perfection. The ice is self-organizing, building its own strength through the pressure of time. It is a slow, crystalline architecture that supports the weight of the entire world above it. A masterpiece of cold design, created in the absolute quiet of the mountain air. Fact 17. The survival of the extremophiles. Inside the veins of ice, in the tiny channels of salty brine, there are microscopic organisms called extremophiles. They live in temperatures that would kill most other life forms. Their metabolism is so slow that they may only reproduce once every few centuries. Their lives are measured in geological time, not human time. They are the masters of the cold, living in a state of near-permanent stillness. They teach us that life does not need heat or noise to exist. It only needs the silent persistence of the frozen world. They are the quiet inhabitants of the Earth's most beautiful and brutal sanctuary. Fact 18. The Moulin, the blue waterfalls. In the summer, meltwater on the surface of a glacier carves deep circular shafts called moulins. The water falls hundreds of feet into the heart of the glacier, creating a hidden blue waterfall within the ice. The sound of the water is muffled by the thick ice, creating a rhythmic internal pulse. These moulins are the veins of the glacier, carrying the surface world into the deep, frozen interior. They are the secret pathways of the ice, moving the energy of the sun into the cold heart of the giant. A silent, blue descent into the unknown. Fact 19. The Albedo effect, the white shield. The vast sheets of ice at the poles act as a white shield for our planet. They reflect nearly 90% of the sun's heat back into space. This is called the albedo effect. Without the ice, the Earth would absorb too much heat and become unrecognizable. The ice is the silent protector of our climate, a white mirror that keeps the world cool. It is a quiet, planetary-scale mechanism that works every second of every day, maintaining the delicate balance of life. The stillness of the ice is what allows the rest of the world to be warm and vibrant. Fact 20. The unending memory of water. Every drop of water on Earth has, at some point, been part of a glacier or a snowflake. The ice is a stage in the eternal cycle of water. A glacier is simply water that has decided to stay still for a while, for 10,000 or 100,000 years. It is a pause in the great rhythm of the Earth. When you touch a piece of ice, you are touching the past. When you drink water, you are drinking the memory of the mountains. The stillness of the glacier is a sacred time of preparation, a profound crystalline rest that allows the Earth to remember its history before it flows back to the sea. In the final stillness. The world of ice is a world of deep time and pure memory. It is a story written in blue and stored in the cold. As we end our journey, feel the cooling peace of the great glaciers settling over your mind. Imagine the white expanse, the blue crevices, and the absolute silence of the poles. The Earth is old. The ice is deep. And the memory of the world is safe in its frozen embrace. Sink now into the crystalline white rest of the soul.